Hello, RuPaul. Okay. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of 90 Day Fiancé. This is season 7, episode 3. What am I worth to you? Alright guys, let's jump right into this video. Hey, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I've been noticing that a lot of you guys have not been thumbsing up this video. You know what I'm saying? It'll get 10K view and only 500 likes. That is deplorable. Give this video a thumbs up. You know you're gonna like it. Just do it now. Don't forget. Do it now. Right now. Do it. Now. The first couple that we're gonna talk about is Annie and Robert. I am all the way over Robert. This is gonna be a Team Annie, Team Robert situation because he is ridiculous. First of all, he liked her because she was hot and banging. That's why he wanted her, because he was physically attracted to her, and he also wanted a mother for his kid. Robert offers to take Annie shopping, and I don't know why. He didn't have any money to take her any place where garments didn't cost more than $5.99, and he had the audacity to offer to take her shopping. And I did notice that she didn't bring that many suitcases with her, and she says, yes, I would like to go shopping because I left a lot of my clothes at home so my family could sell them. Okay, so that's the environment in which Annie has come from. Now, at first, Annie doesn't even know it's a thrift store. She's in there, she's looking around, she doesn't like anything. He's picking up really dumb things to show her, things that are clearly not her size, not her style, not her age bracket. She's looking around and she's just like, I don't like this store. Then the saleswoman comes up, the poor, unknowing, hapless saleswoman. She came over and she was ready to help out. And she's the one who says it. And Annie's like, the clothes are used? And she gets upset and storms out and says, I don't care, I don't want any of this stuff. And then he gonna come up behind her talking about how rude she is and how ungrateful she is. It has already begun, you guys. This poor American went out of my way to pay money for you to come here and be my indentured servant, the mother of my child, and my sex slave, and how dare you not accept what meager provisions I provide. Robert has some nerve. If Robert didn't have enough money to bring this woman over here and at least give her, look, wait. Oh my God, this is so upsetting to me because I know some of you guys are going to be in the comment section fighting like she's so rude, she's nothing but a gold digger, but you guys, I'm not a rich person, okay? But to take somebody to the thrift store and then call them a brat and try to make them feel some kind of way because you brought them to this country and you couldn't even afford to take them into H&M and get them some basics, to take them to Target, Walmart. It is insane what Robert is expecting Annie to put up with, okay? So then later on, they go to have dinner. Oh, look at this menu. Do you think we would have something like this for our wedding menu? And he's like, hell no. I'm not paying for all this. Are you talking about a wedding or a ceremony? And she's like, a wedding. And he's like, well, no, I'm talking about a ceremony with just a couple of friends. And she's just like, you brought me here and told me that you would provide me this type of life, provide me all the things that I want. And now that I'm here and I'm telling you what I want, you're looking at me and telling me I'm a spoiled brat and I'm only here for the money. Robert is such a faker and a liar and a catfisher. I can't even. And I'm on Annie's side 100%. Okay, she came to this country and she thought she was going to get the kind of reception that Juliana got, and she didn't. When they're in the car going home, he's saying, oh, you hurt my feelings, you know, it feels like you're only here for the money. And she's like, you promised me these things. You said that you would have an iPhone for me. You said that you would buy me clothes. You said that you were going to do all this stuff. Like, if Robert couldn't afford to do all those things, why didn't he tell her from the jump? Listen, I'm not rich at all. I can't afford a lot of things. K1 visa is already going to cost me X amount of dollars. Why doesn't he just sit down and break it down to her and tell her what it is that he can do and what he can't do? No, he doesn't. He just lets everything be a surprise and expecting her to just be okay with all of his shenanigery, and I find that to be unacceptable. Then later on that night, he goes and gives her the sexy lingerie that he bought for her that I'm sure was more than thrift store prices. He went and spent money on that damn lingerie instead of buying her some jeans and a top and something that she could actually wear out in public, but that's neither here nor there at this moment. So she's happy about it because she's finally got a gift and this kind of reception I think that she was wanting from him. And she's like, okay, and she seemingly forgives him, but all I see are red flags. Robert is such a gaslighter. He's such a faker and a liar. She's like, look, you promised me all this stuff and now you're not living up to your end of the bargain. And he's like, oh, so it's only me? So I'm the one that's just not perfect? It feels like he's just trying to fight her. It's day one and he's already trying to fight her, put up arguments, say that she's not perfect either. I'm like, what? What did she lie to you about? Can we just say that? Like, what is it that she lied about? How did she catfish him in any way? For Robert to get somebody who looks as good as Annie, I mean, come on. In real life, the way he talks to her, get the F out of here, hell nah. Like, I mean, it's just so uncouth. The man has no class, none. Let's move on. Let's move on to Michael and Juliana. Okay, first of all, that whole, the Hummer was a little bit too much. It was too much. The inside of that limo was just like ridiculous. But the fact that Michael was there with flowers and a ride and a gift and champagne. I mean, Juliana had the reception or the US touchdown that I think all of the foreigners want or could ever hope and dream of. And for that, I have to say bravo to Michael. I mean, I know he has the money, but still, I mean, I was so happy for her in that moment. I was really very happy for her. Juliana ends up getting her visa. Robert has a great reception for her. They get inside the limo and all of a sudden he's like, we could do a limo porn. And she's just like, So here's the thing. Juliana completely understands when Michael is just saying ridiculous things that don't make any sense, and she just rolls her eyes at him. That's what the thing I like about her is that she understands some of the stuff that he says is just so ridiculous, but she's just like, okay, whatever, like, let's move on. And I feel like she's just really genuine. I really like Juliana. Michael, but I like Juliana and I like his kids. They get to his apartment and it is messy, girl, because they're moving, right? And Cece and Max are there and they give her a warm reception. I mean, whatever Michael and Sarah have done for these kids, it is A+ in my handbook. Like, I mean, I was a little skeptical because they talked a lot and they had a lot of opinions from the very beginning, but they are actually really great kids. And the fact that they made them breakfast, Cece made breakfast. She also made her a cake and said, welcome Juliana on it. Max and Cece are like 12 and 8 years old. I mean, Max and Cece are the best, really. I mean, they just really are the best. They are the best. They're the best kids on the 90 Day Fiancé franchise ever. And even though I hate seeing kids on the show, like I don't regret them being on the show, not at all. Okay, so let's talk about the other Mike. I didn't write down the name of his fiance, but she's from the Ukraine. She's 35, I believe. I believe she's a little older than him. And Mike is from a place called Sequim, Washington. It's like the word skin and swim mixed. Squim. He's 6'7" and he lives on a 127-acre plot of land that has been owned by his family, I think, for 2 generations. He's there on the ranch with his Uncle Bo, who helps him keep it up. Uncle Bo is a great ranch hand. And he's trying to get it ready for, I don't know, let's call her Sophia. I have no idea what her name is. And he considers himself like a big giant ogre. He's been married once before. He got divorced. I'm not sure exactly why, but he's in a lot of debt. And he hasn't told Sophia about said debt. Sophia, on the other hand, is really excited to come to the US. This is how they met. So his brother married a woman from Ukraine, and then they had a daughter. So he became the godfather of Pollyanna, that's his niece, the daughter, and Sophia was the godmother of Pollyanna. So they share a godchild. And then the sister-in-law was like, hey, why don't you meet my sister and bring her to the US so I can be with her? Sophia is just waiting to get to the US, okay? And he's put everything forward for her to start the K-1 visa process, and she had her interview and it didn't go well. They basically told her she was gonna have to wait 6 months, and this woman has already said bye to everybody in the Ukraine. She really thought she was gonna get this visa and hop on this plane and come see Mike because she's ready to have babies. Now, Mike hasn't told her that he has any kind of financial issues. She doesn't know what she's walking into, and I think that's very deceptive of Mike. I mean, he spent a lot of money so far on Sophia. Like, first of all, he went to Ukraine to meet her and they had a good time together, I think like a week or something, and he came back to the US, and then he met her in Paris. He proposed to her in Paris, and then he came back. I think they've only like been around each other for a couple of weeks in total. So they really haven't spent that much time together. And so he's just been kind of putting off this air of having a lot of money, especially going to Paris and then proposing to her. That's why he's in all that debt. He's done a lot trying to impress Sophia. That's not her name. I don't know what her name is. So we're gonna see what happens with them later on. All right, so the next couple that we're gonna talk about is Anna and Marcel. This is where Anna really started to get on my nerves. Like, I know we're supposed to root for her or feel sorry for her, but I really don't feel sorry for Anna and the choices that she's making and the things that she's doing, girl, because Anna is not... The first scene is her in a park with Marcel because she needs to talk to him about the whole thing about him possibly moving back home if his parents find out about her kids. Here's my thing. When did Anna find out that Marcel was planning on keeping her kids away from his family? If that was the issue from the jump where he said, we can never tell my family, why didn't she break it off then? Did she just think she was going to wear him down? You guys, we find out that Anna has had 3 kids with this man who was from Mexico. That's what she said, as though like that was relevant. It was clear the man is Latino. She's like, we never got married. So she was in a relationship with a man, had 3 kids from him. He wasn't a great guy, and then he bounced on her. Marcel finds this shameful. In his culture and his family line, it would be really shameful because he says in Turkey, women just don't have kids without being married. My first thought is, why can't she just say that she was married to him and he was abusive and he left her? Why does he have to hide the kids? So it's more than that. And it's something that's not being explained to us. Either way it goes, she had this information before she decided to start the K1 visa process. Why did she move forward with Marcel if she knew it was going to be such a big issue? And she asks him, how long do we have to keep the kids a secret? And he says 10 years. And she's just like, I can't keep my kids a secret for 10 years. And he's just like, I don't know what to tell you then. Because if my parents find out, they're not going to find this to be okay, and they won't allow me to marry you, and I'm not going to go against what my parents say, and if my parents are unhappy, I'm going home. She's wasted all this money. Maybe he isn't even here on a K1 visa. Maybe he's actually here on a tourist visa. Because otherwise, this was a huge investment for her to make to get no return on it and to lose all that money. I'm hoping that he's actually just here on a tourist visa and Anna isn't as stupid as she's leading us to believe she is. So then the next scene, she goes and brings Marcel to sit with the kids. And then she makes him explain to them what's going on. She makes the person who doesn't speak English and who isn't their loving parent trying to explain an entire culture's frame of mind to kids who don't understand. Basically, he's telling the kids the fact that you're born and your parents aren't married makes you illegitimate. And my family is going to be very upset at your very existence. So we have to hide you from my family so me and your mother can be together. Gino doesn't believe it for 1 second. Gino believes that his mother would just hop on the next plane and leave if she could. And I'm so mad at Anna for doing this in front of Leo, who's 6 years old, who now believes that Marcel doesn't love them. Who in front of Joey, who didn't want to give Marcel a chance to begin with. She is blaming this entire thing on Marcel and his family. In fact, she's behaving as though like there aren't people in the US who would find some fault in her for having 3 kids with somebody unmarried and now trying to marry their son. There are plenty of conservative Americans who would feel the exact same way. And it would be up to Marcel to man up and say no. But Marcel is not going to do that because in his mind, he would rather Anna just move to Turkey. He doesn't even want to be in the US. He wants her to go there. And she said no, she couldn't because of the kids. And now he's coming to the US trying it out. And it's an uphill battle. He's not going to stay with her. He's not going to stay with her. They can't even talk to each other. And then she puts him on the chopping block like that in front of her kids. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. She's terrible. That whole scene was very cringeworthy and terrible, and it's all Anna's fault. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is Trifle Sasha and Dumb Emily. All right, so Emily's water breaks. They rush her to the hospital. It's very, very weird that Sasha's in the room, but the doctors allow him to be in the room because she doesn't speak any English. And he says that he wasn't even there for his first 2 kids' births. He doesn't even know where he was. In fact, he doesn't even remember it. It's just he's like, All of a sudden they were there. And I thought, how sad. I mean, I know it's culture, but I found myself being really like uncomfortable with the fact that a whole country of men just don't see their kids born. Now, I know that's the way it used to be in the US, and I know it's like that many places. And I know there's some kind of like sacredness with like women coming together and like midwives and all that stuff. But like, it kind of hurts my feelings a little bit that this is the first kid he's ever seen be born. Especially because Russia is such a modern country. It's like, he doesn't even know where he was. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even like waiting. He wasn't at the house preparing. No, he's just like, I don't know where I was. I guess I was at work. Like, who knows? Like, what? You don't know where you were when your baby was born? I know it's a cultural difference. It's just shocking to me. And I'm glad that he got to see this. I'm glad that he got to see this woman go through all this pain to birth this child. And maybe he'll be less likely to dip out on Emily because he saw her give birth to their child. He saw what happened. He saw her get her belly sliced open and a baby pulled out. Okay? Maybe that'll give him more sympathy. And he definitely was a good helper. I love the fact that he was communicating with her family the whole time via text. He stayed up and was there alert with her the whole time, talking to the doctors, explaining everything, texting the family. He was a good helper. You know, you wouldn't think he was as trifling as we know him to be. So I don't know, I'm giving Sasha another point. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the last couple that we're gonna talk about is Tanya and Sinjin. Okay, so her friends are still there. She says that she would choose her friends over him because she's known her friends longer. And this is my thought. Secretly in my mind, I would choose my friends over my beau. But I would never tell my beau that. And I wouldn't want to hear that. Even though it may be true, it's just like really shitty to say out loud. So they start to talk about what he wants to do. Sinjin says that now that he's in America and he has all this opportunity, of course he wants to start by bartending and seeing where that takes him. And then he wants to try to be a fireman. And the friends are like, oh, that's great. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I want to be a fireman. And then I want to like go out to Hollywood and audition and such. Also want to try opera. One of the friends is like, well, maybe you want to pick one thing and go with that. And he's like, you know, sky's the limit. We can do whatever. Like anything is possible. And they're just like, we don't know if Tanya's going to be okay with that. And Tanya's whole thing is the reason why her and Sinjin get along together is because she says what she wants them to do and then he does it. Period. And even Sinjin says that, you know, for the most part of their relationship, he's just basically done everything that she's wanted him to do. But now that he's in America, he's not going to let her run his life like that, especially because he's just not that kind of planning type person. He's like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, you know? I'm just kind of a go with the flow. I'm not a planner. And so it feels like Tanya's making plans without him. She's just like wrote this story and he's just a character. And that's literally what her sister said, and she got very upset at her sister for saying the same exact thing. Then they start talking about whether or not they want kids because the friends say, we know Tanya wants kids. And he's like, oh, you know, it's really too early to be thinking about kids. And she says, you know, we're going to have kids in 3 years. And he's just like, you know, I don't even know how to hold a kid. Like, you know, it's really hard for me to say that I want children. And the friends are like, you're going to have to talk to her about that. So then later on they go to dinner and they bring up the conversation of the kids again. And he says, you know, it feels like you just want me to do everything you want to do. What about me? And she's like, I made concessions for you. I want to have kids now. And I gave you until 3 years. Those are the concessions I'm making. I'm going to have a kid with or without you. I mean, they might make it work out or whatever, but she is like, if she is aiming to be a TLC television villain, she's definitely down the right path. I mean, because here's the deal. There's nothing wrong with Tanya knowing what she wants and going for what she wants, but there's a whole other thing to bring somebody from this country and force them into that. She just doesn't feel like a good partner. I don't want to not like Tanya because I think I would like her in real life. When Sinjin says that he doesn't believe in planning, that's a big red flag, especially because she likes to plan things down to a T. Down to a flower petal on a public floor. Okay, you guys, so that's the end of my recap. Please let me know what you guys thought down below. Are you Team Robert or are you Team Annie? Let's have a kiki and a conversation down in the comments section. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, check out my merch, and remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.